Hello and thank you for joining me here for this video as we're going to be discussing the New Orleans Saints here and what to expect for the 2021 season, as these will consist of my predictions. Now, my predictions incorporate a lot of different things such as, upsets, who I potentially think will be the starter, especially in this case. And at the very end of the video, after I do my prediction for this season, I'll go ahead and just show the games that I think that the Saints are capable of winning to kind of show like their ceiling for the year. And so you'll compare obviously my predictions with what I think is the ceiling for this team potentially. With that being said, though, I mean, definitely do remember these are just predictions out here. So certainly, take it with a grain of salt as you will. But with that being said, let's discuss these New Orleans Saints. So last year, they pretty much had a pretty strong regular season in which they were able to secure the NFC South despite the fact that Drew Brees got hurt. But obviously, they got put out in the playoffs by Tampa Bay, and it looked like Drew Brees was just at the end of the ropes. And so he's retired. And so now the quarterback competition between Jameis Winston, who many thought last year would get an opportunity to go in and play when Drew Brees went down, but Taysom Hill was actually the guy. And so we'll see if they're going to stick with Taysom at quarterback or if it's going to be Jameis Winston. That's certainly one of the hottest competitions throughout training camp that we're going to keep an eye on for sure. They did bring in Ian Book, drafted him late. And so I imagine that him and Trevor Siemian are going to be competing for that backup spot. But obviously they've got a tremendous amount of talent still, Alvin Kamara. And just when I think of the Saints last year when Taysom Hill went in at quarterback, it sort of hurt, their offense in terms of like Alvin Kamara being able to do what he did because the defense just came pretty much closer, not really respecting Taysom Hill in terms of a pure passer. And so that made life harder for him. So that's why I believe personally Jameis Winston is going to be quarterback number one, but we'll see how that goes. Michael Thomas, I think he can also really benefit from having Jameis Winston back there at quarterback. We know Jameis, he likes to fire it up, and as long as he can cut back on his turnovers, the Saints will be in good hands in that scenario. They obviously got guys like, Marquise Callaway's got to step up, Taquan Smith, and so forth at the receiving core. Offensive line is going to be pretty important as well. You want a quarterback to stop turning the ball over. Definitely got to make sure that he can stand upright in that pocket, and as well as to keep him healthy as well. So the Saints, the theme for them this offense is going to be the quarterback competition, and that will determine a lot in terms of the success they're able to have, I feel, in the future on offense. And with that being said, though, I mean, the starters on the offensive line, they look great on paper, but maintaining health is going to be very important for this group. And with that being said, though, when you look at the defensive side of the ball, they've certainly, they've got Cameron Jordan, they've got Shai Tuttle, David Onyemata, Marcus Davenport, guys like that. They did draft Pete Werner out of Ohio State, in which I personally like that selection there. However, when it comes to some of the Saints draft picks, in which we'll discuss in a second, there were some that I really had some question marks about. But I do like, Marshawn Lattimore in the secondary, so yeah, this defense is going to have to continue to play huge as they've done. Malcolm Jenkins, that's a pretty big part of their secondary right there. And so they've certainly got a lot of potential, but quarterback play is going to be very crucial, as I feel that this will open up or either contain the offense based upon the play that they get at quarterback. Because these Saints, I mean, they've got a lot of talent. Even though they were limited in terms of what they can do in free agency, they still did a good job at retaining a lot of their talent. Despite the fact that they did lose some pieces, such as, Jared Cook at tight end as well. And so we'll see, how they look at that position. But yeah, certainly the Saints, they still have a lot of high hopes for this upcoming season. And through the draft, I mean, I mentioned earlier, my personal favorite was like the middle of the draft, from the Pete Werner from Ohio State, and then Stanford cornerback Paulson Adebo. I was not the biggest fan of them taking Peyton Turner, 28th overall out of Houston. I mean, that was one of those where it's like, I didn't see that one coming. I know they were trying to trade up, so I wonder if they were trying to trade up perhaps for a cornerback or maybe a different defensive end. Who knows? But at the end of the day, we'll see how it pans out for these Saints. But with that being said, let's go ahead and start discussing these games here. So opening up right out the gate, they start off with the Green Bay Packers. Now with the Green Bay Packers and the whole Aaron Rodgers scenario, who knows who's going to be quarterbacking for the Green Bay Packers? But in this one, I've got the Saints winning, and this is under the impression that they're starting Jameis Winston at home. He's going to be fired up. Teams can be fired up, and I've got them winning that first one. And then in week 2 against the Carolina Panthers, who I think is going to be much improved, I think the Panthers getting upset here. Now I know what you guys are going to be saying. How can I have them beat the Packers and then lose to the Panthers? I just feel that at this point, obviously a division game. Sam Darnold, he's going to be. I think he's going to be much improved than what we saw with the Jets. He's got a lot better weapons here, including reconnecting with Robbie Anderson, Christian McCaffrey. At this point, I'm projecting he's going to be healthy, and so. Yeah, definitely one that could go either way, I feel, but I gave this one to the Carolina Panthers for this one. And so, and then in week 3, this is another one that, probably could go either way in week 3, but I gave this one to the New England Patriots here at home. Bill Belichick and company find a way to get the W. Now, week 4 against these New York Giants, I've got them winning at home against the Giants. And then week 5 on the road, Washington football team, very tough team. I like this Washington football team a lot. I've got them winning that one. So I've got them currently right now to bye 2-3, post the Drew Brees error. Coming out the bye week, you're facing a Seattle Seahawks team with Russell Wilson and company. I gave that one to Russell Wilson. And then against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, at home. It's going to be a big game. They gave this team such problems last year in the regular season, So I got this one actually being an upset here in which the Saints are able to beat Tampa Bay. I mean, no knock on Tampa Bay whatsoever. But yeah, this is one that I think that they can go ahead and win that one against. And then at home against the Atlanta Falcons, I've also got them taking care of business with that one as well. So I've got them right now going 4-4, and as you can see, they're 4-0 at home as well. And then in week 10 on the road, Tennessee, I've got the Tennessee Titans winning that one. Derrick Henry, Julio Jones and company, I've got them just coming away with that one. And then week 11 at the Philadelphia Eagles, Jalen Hurts at quarterback for these Eagles. There's a lot of questions that they have that they're going to have to go out there and really prove. But against these Philadelphia Eagles, I have New Orleans winning that one against them, going at 5-5. Then against the Buffalo Bills, I've got them actually winning that one. It's going to be a Thursday night home game, and you know how it is whenever it's a nighttime game in New Orleans. That place is rocking, the crowd's going crazy. I've got them beating Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills here in another upset for the Saints, which will put them at 6-5, and for the first time this season, over 500. And then, week 13 against the Dallas Cowboys, I've got Dallas actually giving them an upset here on the road, in which that'll be a bit of a shocker, but they'll more than make up for it on the road against the New York Jets here, which will put them at 7-6. Now, obviously, week 13, I just want to emphasize that I do feel that that's one that they could win there. Week 14, I've got them winning against the Jets. Week 15, I've got Tampa Bay winning this one at home. And then in week 16 against Miami, I've got them winning against Miami here at home. And then week 17 at home against the Carolina Panthers, got them winning that one. And then week 18 against the Atlanta Falcons, this is a team that can certainly sneak up on somebody out there, but against the Atlanta Falcons, I've got them winning against the Atlanta Falcons, and overall finishing with a 10-7 record, going 4-2 inside the division. And so, and also going 7-1 at home again. That is my prediction for these New Orleans Saints this upcoming season. So if you want to talk about the ceiling of this team, they've got a high ceiling because it really just depends on how well, whether it's Taysom Hill or Jameis Winston goes, that will really have a huge impact on this team. But now that we know that I've got them going 10-7, let's look through these games and see. I can easily see in week 2 that, that they win this one. I would imagine that they would be the favorites in this game. So that's certainly a game they can win. Against the Patriots, that's one that I feel could go either way. So that's one that I could see going to the Saints in this one. And then looking through these games here, I also feel that obviously against the Tennessee Titans, I feel that one, I'll give the edge still to Tennessee in that one, but it would be close. Here's one. Okay, so I got them also potentially to where they could beat a team like the Cowboys at home in that one. So I think the ceiling of this team would be 13-4 would be the ceiling of the New Orleans Saints, and that's if Jameis Winston came and just lit it up. It would have to be Jameis Winston because I don't think Taysom Hill is capable of taking this team 13-4, and so that's just my personal opinion there. But there you go. This is the ceiling I have for the New Orleans Saints. So ideally between probably 9, 10 wins up to about 13 at the max should Jameis Winston go out there and have a career year in which, he's still capable of if he can just cut back on the turnovers. New system, a year to sit down. We'll see how it works out for these Saints, though. But certainly a lot to be excited for. Definitely do tune in once I've completed all of these videos to see if this is enough to have the New Orleans Saints qualify for the playoffs when it's all said and done. And I do my final, bracket in terms of just incorporating all of my picks that I've done so far, place them together, and then just, having see which teams, end up qualifying for the playoffs and then doing my playoff picks from there. But again, thank you all so much for joining. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys think in terms of just how the Saints are going to do this season. Would love to hear from you guys, and see you guys next time.